Welcome back to 365 Unlimited. We are back with another episode. Gannon, MLB World Series. It's showtime on the biggest stage of all. Give us a rundown of what's coming with the MLB and the World Series.
First, I'm going to take 30 seconds. This is the first time all three of us have been in the same recording together, so it's a good time. Welcome, Carter Budenz. This is going to be a blast. This is going to be some new fiery takes. I know you guys already had your episode that dropped last week, but it's going to be a fun little rundown, a new wave, a new addition to this. But yeah, World Series breakdown. It's the Arizona Diamondbacks against the Texas Rangers. They had the in-state showdown with the Rangers in the AL against the Houston Astros, who've been to the pennant or been to the championship series for the last 7 years now in a row, which was a crazy organization for them to take down. They won 90 games on the year. They got injured halfway through the season, which kind of lost them the division, but they're still a big team that spent a lot of money. And then on the flip side with the Diamondbacks, there's a lot of rookies that have been called up. This has kind of been on a whim. They were the sixth seed, the last wild card to get in. If it wasn't for the Cubs' collapse last week, the Cubs probably would have gotten in even over them. So that's crazy to think about there. But it's two diverse backgrounds, but the similarity is they both had 100 losses 2 years ago, and now they're in the World Series, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, no, baseball, I'm going to keep it 100. I haven't watched a lick of baseball, honestly, really, since I graduated college. And, I'll
There
tap
you go.
in every
You got
once
an
in a
area
while.
to grow. There you
Yeah,
go.
no, I tap in every once in a while when it comes to baseball. Postseason baseball is fun, but yeah, I'm diehard NFL, college football. I've gotten into a little bit this year, but Gannon, as far as baseball goes, and you being a former player, and kind of almost having the coaching perspective as well when you were a player,
hmm
what is the buildup for these players like? I know obviously you haven't played professional
Yeah.
baseball, but you've been in a national championship
Yeah.
game, an atmosphere where it's the highest stage of it all. What's going through these players' minds right now, entering the biggest games of their lives?
It's funny you say that because I've been watching almost every postseason game for probably the last 2 weeks now at night after being at the field in the office all day, and there's so
Yeah.
much similarities with how these guys go about their business. They don't seem phased. It's the same game. It's the same things, the same reps, same ground balls, the same reps that they do every single day. And that was the key to our success in 2021, going to the national championship game and coming one game short. But that was the maturity of the older guys we had on their team. Again, that's a crazy anomaly with these two teams is there are a couple players on both teams that have been in postseason runs, been in World Series champions before, with like Max Scherzer, who's going to be on the bump for the Rangers. It's still crazy though that these guys haven't technically been in this moment, specifically the Diamondbacks coming off their series win with the Phillies playing in Philadelphia. If you guys have been aware of that, seeing the
Yeah.
crowd and the atmosphere in Philadelphia, their sports fans are nuts, absolutely
Oh,
crazy,
yeah.
like in a good way. But they went in there after losing the first two games of the series and then came back and beat them that are at home, especially in game seven with rookies, Corbin Carroll with 3 hits. I mean,
Yeah.
it's insane what they did, but that's the beauty of baseball.
Yeah, no, it's funny. It has been a minute since the Rangers have been there.
Ten
I
years ago, they
remember.
went to two World Series and
Yeah.
lost both of them. It's
Well,
redemption
both
farm.
of them were the Cardinals, correct?
Yeah, no, the Cardinals and I
Cardinals were
think
2011.
yeah, and then 2012, I think it was the Cardinals,
That's what I'm
if I'm
saying.
not
I'm
mistaken.
almost thinking it was Cardinals and Cardinals.
No, they didn't go back to back. I'm trying to think who was the other team. I think Cardinals were in 12.
I'm no help at this. I'll
Yeah,
tell you
David
that.
Freese hit the walk off in
Yeah, yeah.
2011.
Game
Who
six.
was
Game six.
12? The Cardinals didn't go back to back. The Red Sox won it in 13. I don't know why I'm
Yeah.
drawing a blank on 12 right now. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
no, but yeah, it's awesome to see the Rangers back in it after being away for so long, and the Diamondbacks are a wild card team too. Like it's not
both of
a
them. Yeah,
it's not a usual thing.
three
So yeah,
times, third time ever.
yeah, no, I'll definitely tap in a little bit, but just the last thing as far as the World Series
Yeah,
goes, before we shift gears a little bit, who are your players to look out for? I mean, give me some names.
yeah,
I know one name because the Cardinals traded him. We talked
yeah.
about this throughout the week and who he's become as a player, but talk about some of the players to look out for, who are the big names,
Yeah.
who's going to help their team win it.
More of the superstar type names are going to be on the Rangers side with Corey Seager at shortstop, Adolis Garcia, who just won
Sure.
the MVP for this ALCS series, who hit, I don't know how many home runs. I think it was like 5 in his last 10 ABs or something. It was going crazy on that aspect. And then you have Nathan Eovaldi, Jordan Montgomery, and Max Scherzer as your first three pitchers in the rotation. Absolute dogs, certified guys. They got more strength on their bullpen, which I think is the reason why the Phillies will ultimately win this. I'm going to say in 6 games they're going to – not the Phillies, sorry. The Rangers. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
you wanted to see Bryce Harper.
I know. I wanted to see that in there. You got me talking because I was fired up. I thought they were going to win last night. But back to that. I think the Rangers got the better bullpen at the end of the day with those three starters that I listened before. The Diamondbacks then on the flip side got Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly, excuse me. And those two are both frontline starters, but the bullpen's an issue. And when you got 7 games to win against the Texas Rangers lineup, who has scored a lot of runs off the Houston Astros, who are already really good. But on the flip side, the younger talent of Arizona, really what it catches my eye with Perdomo at shortstop, Corbin Carroll and right, Alex Thomas, they're all rookies. Alex Thomas, Chicago kid, went to Mount Carmel High School. And then his dad was a White Sox strength and conditioning coordinator, so he's been in baseball his whole life. All these young guys in their first time stepping up to win this. And then obviously their best player, who's got a 16-game hitting streak in every single postseason game he's played in his life, is Ketel Marte, a guy that I saw in low A back when I was like 5 or 6 years old. You guys both been to the stadium in Clinton. I think we attended a game together, all three of us back in the day. I remember watching him play. It's just crazy, the talent here on both sides of the ball. But at the end of the day, I'm watching pitching. That's what I played in college, and that's kind of what I coach, my specialty. I still like the whole well-roundedness of baseball, but watching the stuff right now of so many guys throwing 98 to 102 with sliders being almost 90 miles an hour, it's fun to watch.
Oh yeah, no, let's switch gears. I'm excited. MLB World Series, October baseball. There's not much like it when it comes to postseason playoffs.
Too bad it's not cold, really. Man. I wish it was somewhere cold like Philadelphia, get a little chilly and stuff. But
you love seeing
the desert and Dallas will play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, seeing the players wear the ski masks and get all cold with the long sleeves. Yeah, no, it's different. I remember the Cardinals when they'd play the home series versus Texas, like just
probably the last MLB game you watched.
No,
the last one I watched was the Cubs. For real.
Yeah, so you
2016. Exactly,
yeah. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it's been a minute. But yeah, let's switch gears. I want to switch gears into something new. We could bring it to life in multiple episodes and just kind of when we just want to talk shop, sports in general. Fact or cap? Is this statement a fact or is it complete cap? Is this statement BS? Is it a lie? So pretty much true or not true? Tyreek Hill is the best wide receiver in the NFL right now, and he will break the single season record for receiving yards. Tell me if that's a fact or if it's cap, and then I want to go into our top 5 wide receivers.
That's facts. That's easy.
Why is it easy? A fact?
We can get right into it. Who would even be close to Tyreek right now?
Yeah, I agree. That seems like a foregone conclusion. And then, in my opinion, if he's going to get the single season records, even him and Tua stay healthy. Because if it is, they're going to score points. That's their system.
Yeah.
I mean there's nobody else competing for that right now, in my opinion.
I'd say fact as well, and I'll tell you why. It's because in my head, Coach McDaniel is the best coach in the NFL right now. Now, not only is Tyreek Hill the best receiver in the NFL, but he has a very good, talented overall offensive scheme and players alongside of him that make him who he is, which he did in Kansas City as well. They had talent there when he was there, and obviously we know Mahomes. But Jalen Waddle is a perfect running mate to go alongside Tyreek Hill with his burning speed. And you can't always double Tyreek. You can't always bring a safety over the top and have help. So Tyreek is going to be open. And I will say, fact, I really think that he can break the single season record this season.
Yeah.
And I hope he does, because I don't know how much longer we're going to get out of Tyreek Hill. He seems to be one of those guys that wants to retire at a semi-early age, but we'll see. I know there was some news this week where he's battling a hip injury, so that it could be another thing to think about. But give me your guys' top 5 wide receivers. Who are they? Obviously, I think we all agreeing that Tyreek Hill's one.
Yeah, we talking right now because I like to do
in the NFL right now.
Yeah, okay, 100%.
Tyreek one. Do we agree?
I got Tyreek. Yeah, I mean, I listed a group. I don't know specifically about some of the orders with this, but I mean, I still even have with Justin Jefferson out. He's number 2 in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would agree. I think Cooper
Kupp's up there. I think for me, I think we'll list it as technically 6, but for me, I'd go Tyreek 1A, Justin Jefferson 1B. Do you agree with that, or would you put Justin
it's
at 2?
just it's tough with some of this because what are you assessing on some of the talent, some of the production? Because then I think Garrett Wilson's in this conversation, but he hasn't done really a whole lot.
He's
this
not
year.
top 5, bro.
Right now, talent wise, yeah, 100%.
I don't think so. I don't.
No.
I don't think he's. I think he's getting there, and yes, the quarterback situation doesn't help. I think he's
For
freakishly
sure.
talented.
Yeah, that's the issue. So like that's the thing. But then you flip side of production, Mike Evans is in it right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't say top 5. I wouldn't
Not
say
top 5.
So let's go. We'll stick with 1 and 2. So Tyreek 1, Jetta's 2. Who we going 3? I'd say Jamar Chase. Overall,
I think Cooper
talent.
Kupp. Cooper Kupp.
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember, bro, coming into – I mean, he was hurt.
Yeah,
but
he's been hurt all
2
year.
years ago, bro,
that's what I'm saying.
he was –
so what are we doing this on? Is this talent or is this on production? Because it's a whole different – because then Devontae Adams is in the discussion for me too then.
Okay. Then, all right, then let's individually break it down. Gannon, you give me your top 5. Carter, you give me your 5, and I'll give you my 5, and we could debate as to why.
But I'm saying what.
Let's go off of pure talent. Pure talent.
Pure talent. Yeah.
I got something for you guys.
Let's hear it.
Go ahead, Gannon. Go ahead, Gannon.
DJ Moore gonna enter the top 5?
No.
I'll give you mine because you guys seem hesitant on it.
Let's hear it. But dude, I just asked you and you said it was off production, so I had that in my head, and now
that's
you're saying
fine. That's
talent.
fine. We'll go talent.
So
we'll go talent.
What are we doing here? Figure it out.
1, Tyreek Hill. 1B, Justin Jefferson. 2, Jamar Chase. 3, Cooper Kupp.
Just say 4. Just count it out. 1 through 5.
4. 4, Devontae Adams. 5, CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, my God.
I know you guys don't like to hear it. So before you give me your top 5, tell me why CeeDee Lamb ain't top 5. Tell me what makes him not be a top 5 receiver.
Having Dak as his quarterback. But are we talking
We're going off
talent?
I said that.
So then it's all eye watch then because it's what we think they could be.
And that's why it's a personalized top 5. I want to hear why you guys don't think he's a top 5 receiver. He has every single intangible you want in a wide receiver.
But that doesn't make him a top 5 wideout right now.
In the league, in my opinion,
that's the whole point of my discussion right now. We're talking about 2 different things right now, in my opinion.
So on your team, give me your top 5, and then I'm going to compare.
I have names right now, but we're talking about what's going on the field right now, or what we're talking about with talent and what we think who is good as a top 5 wideout. That's a big difference.
Who, in your eyes, passes the eye test talent-wise as your top 5 wide receiver?
Okay. Just do the eye test. Do the eye test.
Yeah, okay. Let's stick with the mainstream media eye test, like LaShawn McCoy. Go ahead.
Okay. I got Tyreek, Justin Jefferson, go Jamar Chase.
He wants to go DA.
That's what I'm going to go there. I just don't think Cooper Kupp's there. I just don't know if I even like Cooper Kupp at 5.
Stop it.
Woo. I have one guy that I would like to enter the top 5. I just can't.
I have one guy none of you have said in his top 5, no question.
I already know who you're going to say. It's A.J. Brown.
I literally had AJ on 4 before when I was writing it down for fucking.
It's AJ Brown.
That's who I want. I want him in my top 5. I just would rather.
But right now, that's why I had him written down right now on the right now production wise. He's up there.
Okay.
And eye test.
So let me throw him at 5 then instead of Kupp because
Kupp hasn't
played. So
who are you sticking with at 4?
Huh? I put DA.
All right. So you got Tyreek, Jetta,
Justin
Jamar,
Jefferson. Yeah.
Jamar, DA, AJ.
Yeah.
All right. Carter.
So I got similar, but Tyreek, and this is no particular order, but I got Hill, Jefferson, Chase, Cooper Kupp, AJ Brown.
Okay.
And I don't even know about Chase right now, bro.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, we all know he's a stud. I'm not taking that away.
Not healthy.
Yeah.
And bro, one dude who's a stud who's been playing well is Calvin Ridley, bro. Like I'd put him above CD.
Oh, come on! Don't get me.
100%.
Don't get me
100%.
started.
Why?
I gotta stop right there.
CeeDee
Why?
Lamb or
Because
CeeDee
I got
Lamb.
Calvin on my fantasy team, and there's been some bad weeks.
He has not had-
Okay, see, what are we talking about? Fantasy different because CD hasn't done nothing fantasy wise.
Yeah, you're right. Fantasy wise, yes, but that's all game plan and schematics.
I'm taking CD a wide receiver 1 over.
Yeah, no
Calvin
doubt.
Ridley.
Calvin Ridley missed the whole entire season. I don't expect him to come back and be incredibly talented.
And
But
he is.
yeah, I would say the production.
I think Mike Evans is right now having a better year than Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, that's fair. Mike
Based
Evans
off-
is having a hell of a year, and he's playing with
Based
the
off
quarterback.
fantasy.
Oh,
He's
just
catching a
overall,
lot of touchdowns, yards,
Yeah.
receptions, bro.
overall, yeah, I would say Mike Evans is having a hell
He's
of a year.
underrated across the league for what he's done over the last.
Oh,
8
for
straight
sure.
years.
But we're going off the eye test.
Yeah,
No,
but right now, eye test wise, he's passing.
So you
I know, but
legitimately
eye test, Devontae Adams ain't top 5.
But this was my whole argument of why I didn't even like this discussion to begin with, because there's 2 different avenues, and they all intersect, in my opinion. That's why I don't like it. We either have a current playing right now or pure talent wide receiver list, and that's the 2 different things.
All right.
There's
I
a big
think we can
difference.
all agree on top 2.
top
Yes.
2 to 3.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
we
yeah,
all
100%.
said Jamar.
Top 2's lock. I think it's all you can really make arguments for 3 through whatever
Yeah.
after.
Where it would really get interesting, and where I really think we would debate, which we can at a later date, is 5 through 10. I think
Because
5 through
Puka's
10.
up there then if we're talking right now.
Pure
off of
talent, production.
But
It's
He's
tough.
a stud, bro.
It's tough.
But you know what I mean? Like
No, I
that's
do,
the
I do.
arguments. That's the baller.
I do. There's
I
production.
think that's our
there's
sense of the
there's skill.
next cap or fact.
Yeah.
100%.
Overall, yeah. So
AJ Brown, baby. He's a sleeper in there.
I like it.
fact or cap, the Philadelphia Eagles are the Super Bowl favorites at this current moment.
I would say yes. I mean, obviously with San Fran, if they get healthy, there's a big time argument, 100%. I probably would lean San Fran. But if you're talking right now, off of last week and what's going on right now and trending in the right direction and not even seeing the best version of the Eagles, in my opinion, right now, it's a yes. It's a fact.
I would
I'm
say
in the middle, bro. Because there's a team
What are you
that
saying,
peop-
Chiefs?
I'm saying Chiefs.
Yeah, and that's my
And the
home.
reason I'm saying
it's almost like I got
Chiefs-
them just caved away in another part of my brain.
Yeah, no, I feel you there. Yeah, it's one of those
No, I
teams where you
feel
expect
that.
them to be there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just feel like the Chiefs, bro. They find a way. I mean,
they do.
And now Philly, obviously, they've struggled, and we can talk about the offensive coordinator and all that type of stuff. But I would say that those 2 and the Niners, right? They've lost 2 in a row now, which is crazy. You know what I mean? They've looked, and then they lose to Minnesota without Justin Jefferson.
And the Browns without Deshaun.
Yeah, I mean, so it's hard to tell, man, because we're right at the spot in football where it's like there's teams that are gonna start losing, teams are gonna start winning all of a sudden. I mean, this is a little off topic, but look at Detroit. I mean, this is the stuff that's gonna happen. This is football, this is professional sports. You can look like a Super Bowl team, and the next week you can look like you don't even know how to run an offense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sports, man.
Any
Especially
given day, any
professional.
given
You can
night.
lose any day. So
They're all professional.
it's hard to say that Super Bowl contender because really you could go through 5 or 6 of them.
I mean, I think Baltimore's right there. They're snaky, man. Snaky.
Baltimore had a statement win. That was a statement win to beat Detroit
Snaky,
like that.
man.
I mean, they didn't just beat them.
Get an addition or two
They spanked them.
with the trade deadline.
We'll get there. I have a.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
We got a name to discuss, but I would say currently it's a fact. And for me, when I sit back and analyze the whole entire NFL right now, you could have said the 49ers. They look like a juggernaut of a team. They completely spanked the Cowboys on primetime, and just completely make it look like nobody is touching them. And then all of a sudden, you start to see Purdy have to try to win you a game. And I will say, he put him in a position to win the game against Cleveland.
Yeah.
The missed field goal
Shout out
doesn't
Jake
help.
Mooney.
But they shouldn't have never been in that position. And for everyone that knocks on Dak, knocks on other quarterbacks across the league, you shouldn't be in a position where a field goal has to win you the game against the Cleveland Browns. Granted,
Why do you have to Bro, why do you have to bring Dak in
Like,
it?
did you see me like this? I'm like, keep it moving, bro. Keep it
You
moving.
know
Okay.
why? And Purdy, granted, against Minnesota, he did throw that pick at the end to pretty much seal it. But bro, I mean, I'm just standing on what I said in the last episode that Purdy is legit. I
Yeah.
still think that. I mean, you're not gonna have a great game. I mean, look at Goff. He didn't play very well last week,
Yeah.
and he's been playing. He's consistent.
Hmm.
I mean, he's been consistent this whole year.
He really has been his whole career. Honestly, Goff hasn't really been a bad
I
quarterback.
mean, other than that last
He's advertised
year,
what you get.
Yeah, you know what you're getting out of Jared Goff, and like
Yeah.
that's. But
Now, I
overall,
think Purdy's legit, but in the system with his weapons healthy. Because there's been a big difference since
Yeah.
McCaffrey's been banged up and Debo's
Yeah.
been out. That's a
Yeah.
big time other discussion, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Because you just don't know if it's not in the Shanahan. I'm not sure if it's even so much Shanahan in the play calling. More so, you got Christian McCaffrey and Debo Samuel. Like that's.
I think the main reason why I will say fact for Philly being the favorite right now, or just the main contender is their GM Howie Roseman. He goes out, and no matter where that team is at, he will make a move to get them over the top. And it's similar to what we saw the Rams do, bringing in Von Miller to win the Super Bowl. Howie does it. He just went out and got Kevin Byard, the safety from Tennessee, a stud safety who's a difference maker for that team who needed safety help. He is willing to put all the chips on the table and say, we are going for it right this second. After a year where they were right there, right there. I mean, you can't argue. Granted, their offense has been off to a slower start. They're finally starting to pick things up, and signing a vet like Julio may be able to be a guy who gets in Devontae Smith's ear, who gets in A.J. Brown's ear. He may not be a difference maker who gets you 5 touchdowns, but he's going to be a guy who is a veteran leader who comes in that locker room and continues to build that culture with younger guys. But let's shift into the next one based off what you brought up, Gannon. I'm excited about this, and I think it could happen. Derrick Henry will be traded ahead of the NFL trade deadline to the Baltimore Ravens. What do we think?
Now, in my head, I'd like to say fact just for what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because what are the possibilities that could happen with him going to, to pair with Lamar and Lamar to be able to not run the ball so much and have the D-hand be a valve for him to be able to look and use his weapons accordingly. I just don't think that Tennessee's going to move on from him, in my opinion. I got a Tennessee fan that's on my coaching staff at Kaiser University here. And what I've talked about from some stuff he reads for beat writers and stuff there is that they've never retired a number in Tennessee. They don't have like a famous person or famous player that's played for their organization. Now, if you ship him out and kind of do some of that, I think it taints with a little bit of his legacy and being a Tennessee Titan. So for that reason and just some other stuff there, I don't think he gets moved. I think it's cap.
I think it's cap too. I mean, I'd be all for that.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I think that'd be nuts. And I also don't know. I haven't looked too much into is he going to now be the highest paid running back?
No.
I mean, they just signed Lamar.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're not giving Derrick Henry a contract. He's a 29-year-old running back.
That's what I'm saying, and the window's moved or closed. I think if they wanted to get a high end draft.
It's a move for Baltimore to make, recognizing that this is the best offense they've had in years, and it's finally starting to gel, starting to click. Like guys early on in the season, Odell Beckham was not doing anything. Granted, he's older, coming off injury, missed a year, but he's finally starting to get moving in this offense.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, Zay Flowers has proved to be 1A, 1B with Jordan Addison as the best rookie receiver across the NFL. Obviously, Mark Andrews, a certified stud at tight end, who's pretty much his favorite target, his best receiver. Nelson Aguilar is another guy, scored a touchdown this past weekend. He's always been an underrated guy. Not going to give you big numbers, but he'll catch a touchdown. He'll catch a 20-yard reception on third down.
So you're saying it's cap or fact?
I'm saying fact, because right now I think there's no reason, absolutely zero reason, why the Tennessee Titans would not accept a third-round pick for Derrick Henry, who's a 29-year-old guy who you don't have to give a contract to, so there's no issues with that. Let him go chase a ring. I think if anything, you say it taints that. It taints that by letting him go. I think it helps it, and it does right by the player by giving him the opportunity to go play
Yeah, but that's what you
for a
want.
team and
That's
chase
what
a
you
ring.
want to see happen. That's not what's realistically going to happen.
I'm not saying it's realistically going to happen because
Yeah.
nothing when it comes to the trade deadline is realistically going
Unless
to
it's the
happen until it
Cowboys.
happens. No.
If it's the Cowboys, then they're getting Mahomes and Kelsey next week.
But hear me out. Like
Oh, I
realistically,
agree, but I just said in the real world this does not happen. That's why I said cap.
yeah, but I mean, realistically, no trade is realistic until it happens. Like, it's what it is. Deadlines make deals happen. Like, I would have never told you Amari Cooper to Dallas for a first round pick was even remotely realistic till it happened. It's like trades come out of nowhere. Kevin Byard to Philadelphia is not a realistic trade until it happens. Trades are never realistic.
Yeah, I'm talking just D-Hen though specifically. I'm not talking.
I mean, Hen, think
free
about
agency.
it. Think about it. 29-year-old running back, not a major contract.
Oh, I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I just
The
don't
Titans,
think it's happening.
the Titans suck. They're pitiful. There's
They
no
suck.
there's no
Oh, yeah, they're
reason
awful.
for them to not go get draft capital now.
Yeah.
Do right by the player, send him to a team where I will tell you right now, if he goes to Baltimore, I don't care if he's 29 years old, I don't care if he's 30, based on his individual intangibles, his body type, his physique, what he brings to the table, and defenses have to key on, him and Lamar will be the deadliest quarterback running back duo in the NFL. I don't care what the age is. The stuff that you can run offensively with Todd Monken as your OC, it's filthy. It's filthy.
No, I'd love to see it happen, but I'm with Gannon. I just
agree.
don't. I don't see it happening. I understand crazy things can happen, and all of a sudden, you got a Baltimore team that is gonna. I mean, they're gonna be stacked offensively, defensively.
They got
That's
studs.
maybe
They got
that's yeah.
studs. I
But
mean,
I don't see it happening. If it does, I think I would love to see the Ravens get it. I'd love to see Henry. I don't think they've made it to the playoffs a couple times, I think.
Yeah.
I think they beat New England that last year Brady was there, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
I think in the playoffs.
You talking the Ravens?
No, Tennessee.
Titans.
Oh yeah. I mean, Tannehill was successful for quite a bit of time. I mean, with Tennessee when he got traded from Miami, but he revived his career in Tennessee. Really, I thought he was on his way out in Miami. But let's move on to our next one. This is interesting because I want to get Buden's perspective on this. The Bears need help, right? Chase Young will become a Chicago Bear at the trade deadline with an extension. An extension will be agreed upon either post-trade or as a part of the trade, and Chase Young will be a Bear for the foreseeable future. Is that fact or is that cap?
I want to say fact because I would love that. But it's the Bears.
Yeah.
And I just see them. I mean, I've been a Bears fan my whole life, and we've screwed up so much. I mean, literally. To get Chase Young, though, I mean, our defense obviously needs help. And I think what it'll come down to first, do you think Chase Young's a first round pick?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
What do you think? I mean, because that's my thinking is because I'm more concerned for the Bears in the draft. Like what's our strategy in the draft? And we got 2 first rounders this year.
Mm-hmm.
If we can get Chase,
would you be okay with parting with the first round pick if you had to though, and saying Chase Young is
one of the top 5 picks?
I mean, for Chase Young though, are you like based on prospects? Are you getting a Chase Young in the top 5 in this draft? Like
you're giving that up plus having to extend him.
That's the thing, and that's why I mean,
that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think we need to because realistically, we're probably going to get. Well, I think we're for sure going to get number 1, and then I would say anywhere from 2 to 6, because I mean Green Bay's in this now too.
Yeah. Well, I mean
as far as who's going to finish, a lot can happen for sure. But with 2 first rounders, bro. I
Yeah.
It's
mean,
cap.
You want your
I
you want your draft capital. I get it. And honestly, I'll say what's more realistic for the Bears, because I'll call cap on that one too. I think what's more realistic is the Bears swinging a trade for a guy like Montez Sweat, the other guy in Washington, who are well, Sweat and Young being on the block. I don't think you're probably not giving up. You're not giving up a first round for Sweat. You can handle giving up a 2, a middle of the round pick, and possibly maybe a younger player or a vet. I just think in my head, if you're the Bears and you think about it, if you can give up a 2, you're not going to draft someone in the second round that is more of a difference maker than a guy like Montez Sweat instantly. And defensively, I mean, Montez Sweat, the Bears are historically known for having that type of defense. Get a veteran guy, because right now there's no veteran leadership on the Chicago Bears defense. There's no face of the defense. You bring in a guy like Montez Sweat, he's instantly your leader.
We did that with
your
Mac.
face. Yeah, and you had a good defense. You
Yeah,
had a good
but
defense. You had
we
piss
got
poor
one
coaches
good
and a
year
bad
out of
offense.
Mac. We got one good year out of Mac.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And we signed him, what, $100 million?
Horrible. And you gave how many picks to Oakland?
I mean,
Yeah,
we
in reality, you're not giving up what you gave up to get a guy
No.
like Montez Sweat compared to
but I
Khalil
could
Mack.
see that with Chase Young.
yeah.
You don't want
I-
you don't want history to
I
repeat
just think
itself.
I just think it's cap for the sheer reason that Ryan Poles isn't going to do any more trades for a little while here. He's
So you
gonna
think
sit
you
this
think
out
the
for a
Bears
little
will
bit.
stand pat?
Yeah, I think so for right now, at least through the rest of the season. Because I just think with some of the moves so far, with the absolute burn up in his face of Chase Claypool with that mess that happened, and then just other stuff that's happened with Ryan Poles, I don't think he's going to be moving anything right now, and that makes no sense to do the young stuff if you're giving up a first round pick with those 2 top 5 for your draft capital, even a second. It's a foregone conclusion, yes, that they will make an impact, but that's one guy right now instead of building a draft class and keep building, because this is far from being done, even if you do keep Jay Fields at the quarterback position and instead establishing more O-line and more support with him on the front side or on the offensive side of the ball. In my opinion, I don't think there's going to be anything.
I think
they'll
ahead.
sell? Do you think they'll sell? Like get rid of any players, or do you think they'll just sit completely, do nothing?
I mean, it's gonna have to see how some more games play out on that aspect, but I don't see him being big, seeking out for trades and trying to add to the roster right now for immediate talent help. I don't see that.
I'm interested to see though what we're gonna do with Fields.
I was just about to bring that up. Yeah.
If Bajent has a good game Sunday night against the Chargers,
Now I'm excited to hear where this is going.
what do you do? No, I'm being real because I've been juggling this. If Bajent plays 2 great games in a row,
2 wins.
2 wins, what do? You keep him in. That's what I think.
Sounds like a Bears problem there.
It is a Bears, but what do you do? Because then, I mean, how are you gonna?
No, you're right. I've already been joking with some other people and seeing stuff on Twitter as a joke, but they're right.
I mean,
It's a
we've won
conversation.
one game with Fields, and I'm not hating on Fields.
I don't talking right now. Results.
I'm talking right now. I like Fields. I don't think he's going to work out with Chicago. I hope he finds somewhere that he does, and knowing the Bears, he'll probably go and be a stud somewhere. I mean, he is a stud. I mean, athletically, he's a lot better than Bajent. But if you watch that game Sunday, dude, Bajent, I mean, he can throw the ball. He's efficient. He gets it out. People always like, oh, the Bears can't block, which is true. But Fields, I think, has the most time out of anyone in the NFL to get rid of the ball. He doesn't make good decisions. He runs way too early. And when he is about to scramble, he doesn't look. Bajent did. And he could run. Like, he's not super athletic, but he can get out and move and get a first down.
So I'll tell you you don't think part of that is the playbook being a little dumbed down to fit his skill set compared to
then
Fields?
let's dumb it down. Let's go down to first grade.
Yeah, so it should be basic for Fields with the ups and downs.
Well, I mean, from what I've seen, I think they're trying to overcomplicate what they do with Justin Fields, and that's just schematically in general as coaches, and just from what I've seen as a coach perspective, the way that they're utilizing Fields is, I mean, it's a major issue in itself. He's freakishly talented. I think the accuracy has improved, and like you did mention though, Carter, he bails on pockets way too soon. So play to his strength. If he wants to get out of the pocket, then try to develop more of a play action based scheme. more of an RPO like scheme where
Yeah.
he can utilize his run game, his quick pass game. He needs to learn how to get the ball out quicker. Overall, I mean, I don't think there's any reason that you should bench Fields even if you win 2 games. And that's in my head. The only reason I'm saying that is the rest of the season needs to be used to see if Fields is your guy.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason why it probably won't happen.
Yeah, well, it won't happen. The only reason it could happen is because they haven't paid him yet. If you pay a quarterback, he's going to be your quarterback. It's the same reason why P.J. Walker could win the next 2-3 games for the Cleveland Browns, but when Deshaun Watson's healthy, he's their guy. They paid him $200+ million guaranteed. He's their guy. When you pay a player, that's your guy. Fields hasn't been paid yet, so he's not necessarily their guy.
Yeah, but they're still they're still gonna play him out the remainder of the year because they want to see it not to make their investment on him moving forward. That's why there's no reason to just throw Badgett out there.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
What are we still testing? I don't get what we're still looking for.
I mean, you got to know if he's your guy. I mean,
we don't know. I know.
Are you saying he's not?
He's not the guy.
He's not the fit for the Bears.
He's not the fit for. I'm not saying he.
I agree. I agree.
So I don't know what we're. And I don't really want us to win, honestly. I could care less if we win. I think I like the story of Bajan. I think it's an awesome story. I mean, I'm all for rooting for the underdog. But what do we have to lose? I mean, we suck. We are terrible.
Well, I think what you lose is the ability to cash in on Fields' potential, not just potential for the Bears, but potential for what you could receive in draft capital if you do decide to move on. Because if you bench Fields the rest of the way, what the hell is he worth right now?
So what if you play him and he does terrible?
But they got to take that risk at this point. You're backed in a corner, at my point. You're not going any direction because they know they got Badgett. They know they have that. But that's plan B at all cost.
I really don't think he can decrease his value any less. We know at this point. I think we know what Fields is as a Bear. Yes, 100%. And I think we've seen what Fields is as a Bear. I don't think that talent or that level of play is necessarily going to increase unless you magically end up with Mike McDaniel, Kyle Shanahan, and you end up getting another wide receiver who is comparable.
But now if this
DJ
carries
Moore.
For another month and we're at Thanksgiving and the record still sucks with the pick and Caleb Williams and everybody else looms there in that top 5 picks, then we got a real discussion on our hands, in my opinion.
100%.
A big time discussion. Even if Fields plays well, 100%. I just a short sample size because he'd have to play, in my opinion, here good for the rest of the out for the Bears to completely commit to him, like consistently week in.
Yeah, one more perspective I have on that, and we can switch gears. Is I think what does it say to your players, like a guy like DJ Moore? You traded to get a bona fide 1 who has proved he's a 1. DJ Moore is a 1 and has balled this season with Fields. He has balled with Fields. What does that say to a guy like DJ Moore? Who's to say that a guy like DJ Moore wants to stick around for another quarterback rebuild?
I mean, that's another reason why Fields gonna have to play this out.
It has to. He has to. There's no doubt in my mind.
They're backing themselves in the corner with all their prior moves before.
As a business, as an organization, the only way you can spin it and make it make sense is that the injury is worse than it is. And say that he needs more time to heal. So really, if you want to see what you got in the Rook, then you're going without Fields this week. Hold him out another week, injury, and see what you can get. But I think ultimately you can't do it to your players. You can't do it to a guy like DJ Moore who you gave up a lot for to get. Yeah, you got to bring Fields back. Now the draft gets interesting. Obviously, who do you take? Caleb Williams if you got the 1. I mean. Blah, blah, blah. We'll get into that at a later date. But I think another interesting one. Fact or cap? Because, Carter, we've had this conversation with Jay Tuck about Josh Allen. Josh Allen is broken. Fact or cap?
That's the biggest cap I've ever heard in my life.
But we're going to have to do a little bit more evaluation on these facts or caps because this is just cake.
No, Josh Allen he is a stud.
Yes, thank you.
He is.
It's the biggest cap I've heard. Josh Allen is not broken, bro. What are we doing?
No. And I had a talk. This was probably 2 years ago.
When we said
and I wish I got to pull the receipts. Carlson and Jay Tuck were in my ear talking about Josh Allen. Both of them, mind you, they're both Cowboys fans were saying Dak was top 5, and I just laughed. I was just like, you guys are completely out of your mind. Josh Allen is still top 5 in my mind, no question. He's had some rocky games. Last week, that was a tough loss. It's a division game. Things happen. Like I said earlier, we're getting into the season where things happen. Like you can look good one game.
Things have been happening for years. Just to put it out there.
What's
How many
been
playoff
happening?
Games? There's a lot of difference in playoff starts.
I'm not, bro. Forget the
Because
playoffs.
I know you want to tie this back into Dak.
No, I don't.
I know that's coming at the end.
I don't want to. No, I really don't want to bring this into Dak.
Come on.
But all
He
I'm
does.
saying,
Yeah, come
no,
on. That's what this question
Trubisky
was
has about
geared
the same playoff wins as
forget
Dak.
the playoffs. Y'all exclude it. Exclude it.
But you
When
can't exclude it. That's what
You
makes him a
can.
top 5 quarterback.
No, in general,
in the best conference in football too.
What I'm trying to say is, I'm not
and
hating
they
on,
lose to Kansas City every year.
and I'm not disrespecting Josh Allen in any way. I think Josh Allen's a top 8 quarterback. But what I'm trying to tell you
Who's
is,
7 better? Who? Let's hear it. Let's
hold
hear
on,
7
I'll
better
get there.
quarterbacks.
I'll get
No,
there.
right now. Name
Hold
it
on,
right
no,
now.
there is 2 versions. There's 2
7.
versions
I want
of
to hear
Josh
it right
Allen.
now.
There's 2
1,
versions.
2.
I will, but there's 2 versions of Josh Allen. You are getting the great Josh Allen, who is Mahomes, like, makes unimaginable plays, an absolute stud. Okay, You get that player. I agree. You get that guy. But there is also a Josh Allen who makes boneheaded mistakes.
So then let's throw the same discussion with Lamar Jackson with how many turnovers he had early on. If we're really gonna bring this into it, you're not saying that about Lamar.
Because I don't think Lamar necessarily is making the same type of mistakes. He's not making boneheaded decisions.
So do you put Lamar above
Well, you know how
Josh
many fumbles
Yes,
he has
yes.
this year?
Lamar's
Those aren't
better than
boneheaded
Josh Allen.
mistakes. He's
Stop
a running
it.
quarterback.
Lamar is better than Josh Allen.
Oh my God.
Lamar is better. Patrick Mahomes won.
Let's hear these 7 quarterbacks better.
I
Yeah,
think
you're gonna be reaching.
Yeah,
damn
this
near
is bad.
need-
You're just digging. Let's keep digging.
I damn near need a list to think
No,
about.
this is
who the hell's
bad,
the
bro. This
quarterback.
take is awful in your opinion. I'm sorry.
Mahomes,
Yeah, Mahomes won, no doubt.
you got Hurts.
I'll put
Jalen
Hurts.
Hurts.
I'll put Hurts at 2.
Okay.
Hurts at 2. Lamar at 3. Lamar at 3.
Well, let's keep going. I want to hear you get 5, 6, and 7 out before
I'm
Josh
yeah.
Allen.
I'm thinking. So 4. I'm really
You're gonna put Tua above Josh Allen?
right now. Yeah, right now. Yeah, I think Tua's the MVP of the season right now. Screw it, we'll put Tua there.
You think Brock Purdy's higher than Josh Allen?
Shh. I'm not gonna.
Brock
swear,
Purdy's
but
above Dak.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Dak
If-
sucks.
We're
Let's
not
go,
gonna
bro.
get
How
into
many
that.
names have you had? You can't even get 5
I gave
out.
you 4. I gave you 4.
You can't even get 5 out. Come on, man.
I'm
This is
thinking-
over.
Joe
with.
Burrow. Joe Burrow.
Not this year.
I don't care. I'd take when I analyze quarterbacks and I'm thinking about top 5 in general, it comes down to who
This
would
is
I
Cowboys
want.
fans.
No, it's who would I want.
Dude,
on my
this is
roster.
what Jay Tuck says on Twitter. This is all I see from Cowboys fans because it's the correlation.
No,
You want to
dude.
throw Josh Allen in the same conversation as Dak. And
I'm
that's
telling
just
you
not-
right now, who would I want to build around? I would rather build around Joe Burrow than Josh Allen. I would.
Josh Allen or Dak Prescott.
Josh Allen.
Okay.
Okay, good. Here's who I
we
think.
got one thing in common.
I think
I'm
Mahomes,
going to keep. I'm not trying to bring Dak into this conversation. What I'm trying to simply tell you is when I analyze
But
the
what
top
are the
5
takeaways
quarterbacks,
why Josh Allen's so bad? Because of some of the
I'm not saying
decisions
he's
and
bad.
turnovers?
I'm not saying he's a
You
bad
said
quarterback.
broken. So that's
I said, is he broken as a factor cap? I'm not calling fact on it. If anything, to me, it's a middle ground. I think there's a lot of struggle there. I think there's a lot of issue there with Josh Allen.
but
I
other
really
than Pat
do.
Mahomes, you can say that about any quarterback in the league, in my opinion.
And it's a fair take. I'm not disrespecting the take by any means, but what I'm trying to tell you is I would rather build around those 5 quarterbacks than Josh Allen.
You'd rather
That's just who I
have-
You
would.
still have a couple more to fill in because you said 8.
Well, that's 5.
I mean, this is who I think
Yeah, so
5
let's hear
are.
6 and 7.
5, this is easy for me. Mahomes, Hurts, Tua, Josh Allen, and I think you could put in Lamar Jackson or Herbert right now.
Lamar over Herbert.
So I would go that 5. And I'm not putting him any,
Now,
but
if Rodgers was healthy, Rodgers would be in this 5 for me.
Josh Allen's top 5. I don't think there's a question about that. I mean, you look, I got the quarterbacks pulled up, Carlson. Who are you really going to think?
I'm taking Herbert. I'm taking Herbert over Allen.
You think Goff?
I'm taking Herbert over Allen. I really am. I'd rather build around Justin Herbert.
This is the last factor cap for the night.
No, I really am.
So you think Goff? What about Goff?
No.
Okay. What about Kirk?
Yep.
You still need one.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yep. No, I really would. I would. And that's 7.
Now.
That's 7. There you go.
So you don't. So Dak's out of your top 8 now.
I think Dak's a top 10 quarterback. I don't think he's above Josh Allen right now.
Who's the other 9 for the 10?
What do you mean?
So you said Dak was top 10. You listed 8. Dak's 9, and then who's the 10th?
Dak's definitely not top 10. Yeah. I'd put Goff. I'd put Goff over Dak. I'd put Trevor Lawrence over.
Lawrence has not shown anything.
Geno Smith.
What does Dak show?
No. If you want to just judge it off playoff wins, which I know you want to do.
No, I don't.
Brock Purdy's higher than Dak Prescott, like Budenz said earlier.
Kirk Cousins is better than Dak.
Yes.
Burrow is better than Dak.
So if Kirk, there's not that much of a difference between Josh Allen and Dak Prescott.
Kirk and Dak are here. Josh is
there's not that much. There's not that much of a difference.
There's a night and day difference.
There's not that much of a difference.
The Dak and Kirk and everybody else in that middle ground's here. Josh is on the top tier, bro.
100%. No question.
I think it's Patrick Mahomes.
Talent and the way he runs the ball, bro.
Mahomes, Hurts, Lamar, drop.
No.
That's the way I see it. I think a lot of that middle ground is interchangeable. But in my head, I don't see much of a difference between Dak and Josh Allen. Everyone looks at Josh Allen like he's magnificent because he beat the Chiefs. He beat Patrick Mahomes. He beat in front of everybody on live television.
So,
and that's all. But that's all they remember. They don't remember the poor decisions. They don't remember the bad games.
Because he gets them there, and they're in the postseason games every single year. They play and lose close games to the Chiefs every single year.
The Cowboys are in the postseason every year. They lose close games
in the first round, and they get blown out.
Who do they get blown out by in the playoffs?
The Niners.
They did not blow them out. They did not blow them out.
They got no. I'm saying they got blown out.
They got blown out by the 49ers.
So the regular season. Now we're back to the regular season.
No,
I'm talking about in playoffs.
They did not get blown out.
What was the score?
I'm pretty sure they lost by 9. I'll pull it up to fact check.
But it's what I say this whole conversation was going to come back to. Dak and Josh Allen. It's right.
I mean, I don't even think you can make an argument. I mean, to me, that's saying like
12,
you're literally proving points,
12
Carlson,
to 19.
Why we were right. Because, dude,
no,
he
I'm not.
plays the Kansas City Chiefs in the postseason and either wins or loses by 1 score.
And the Cowboys play the San Francisco 49ers back-to-back postseasons, and the Cowboys lost by 7. They lost by 7.
Okay. This is not even the same argument, bro.
Bills,
we're talking about one of the best
Chiefs,
quarterbacks
Bills,
and coach
Chiefs.
combos ever.
Who's got a better defense? Who has a better defense?
Then what do you mean?
This is bad. We just need to wrap this up because this is getting
Bills or Cowboys?
Right now, Dallas.
Oh, right now, Bills.
Dallas has the way better defense. On paper, Dallas is one of the best teams, but they're not. Sorry.
Got no linebackers or secondary, so.
They got no linebacker, no secondary, no quarterback.
I'm taking.
It is an issue right
Bills
now.
Secondary
I agree.
Dallas is secondary.
You might as well put Dak at corner.
All right, let's shift gears. Fact or cap, Jordan Love is the future quarterback for the Green Bay Packers.
I'll let Gannon take this one.
Fact or cap? That's a good one, bro. I don't know right now.
After you were saying that all of them have been bad so far.
Huh? I mean, it's like you just threw this on this to get us fired up because I'm a Packers fan, like we did earlier with this whole discussion. This is gonna be an hour long, but let's do this thing. It just doesn't make any sense to me, but we'll talk for the sake of the episode here. Jordan Love, I want to switch his gear. I don't think Matt LaFleur is the future for the Green Bay Packers, in my opinion. And that's because you can't determine with Jay Love right now, bro. He hasn't played enough. He hasn't played enough in the play system, and the play calling has not been enough to even maximize. Because, yes, I'd like to say, in fact, he's going to be the future. But I have no idea. But I know for a fact that Matt LaFleur is not the guy for us, in my opinion. And that's my hot take out of all this. He literally pisses me off more and more each week that I watch these offense and the play calls that's ran. There's more flags being thrown on our group. And who does that come down to is coaching. There's nobody else that can get blamed for this other than people not they're not getting the most to perform out of these athletes at the end of the day. And the stuff that I see with that one drive, we decide to throw the ball down the field and go 3 and out. And then another drive, we're going to hand the ball off to Aaron Jones. There's no discrepancy on our identity, in my opinion, of how we either run the ball sometimes, pass the ball down the field some games. We don't even look for intermediate routes with Luke Musgraves at the time. There is no consistency with our offense. And that's the reason why, because I do think in the right formality with all this, J Love is our guy 100%. But right now, he's not being put in the best position with the rest of the offense, plus the inexperience. And that's a crash course, in my opinion.
I'll say fact. I think I love
him. I love him personally, bro. I just hate Matt LaFleur. I can't do it.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that. I think there is schematic issues. I think there's been a coaching problem with LaFleur dated back to some Rodgers stuff. I don't necessarily think they're getting the most out of what they could in the offense. Guys like Christian Watson should not be disappearing from the game plan when healthy.
I'll give him on that.
He is hurt. I agree, but when guys like Watson and Dobbs are on the field together with a freak athlete in Musgrave, I know they're young. I know they're young guys.
Gotta give him the ball,
but they're athletic freaks. They're athletic freaks. Get them the football. Find ways to get those guys the football. Jaden Reed's a freak athlete as well. Like, they're freak athletes on that offense. Get them the football. And yes, part of it is on Love, but the part that's on Love, in my opinion, is the youngness within him, the part where he hasn't played. Like, people can sit here and knock Love all they want all year, but this is the first real action we've ever seen of Love. Like, we haven't seen Jordan Love whatsoever. It's the same reason you could knock a guy like Trey Lance, who everyone has given up on his whole entire career. But when did you really ever see Trey Lance other than 2 or 3 games? You've never seen who he is. So I can't judge a guy like Jordan Love right now this season. Now by the end of next season, if he's still their guy and you haven't seen much improvement with a possible offensive coordinator change, head coaching change, I want to see a lot of consistency there and a build-up, progression over time. But right now, I'm going to sit and say, like, yeah, he's their guy. There's no other way about it. You got to see what you got. And
it's just hard to see the consistency with the inconsistencies on the coaching and the play calling. Yeah, that's what's the frustrating thing. Is
I will say,
I think it's Cap. I don't think he's the man there. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Bears fan either. I really don't see it, bro. And I agree about what you said about LaFleur. I mean, he's an asshole. I mean, you see him at these press conferences after the game. I mean, he's just
standoffish, bro.
Yeah, he's standoffish. You can see now really how good Rodgers really is. Because if Rodgers was on this team right now, they'd probably have 1 loss. I mean, really, wouldn't they?
Dude,
same thing with
just
McCarthy.
Those 3 wideouts, even having Dobbs and Reed with Watson out the whole time and Musgraves.
They're freak athletes. I don't understand it. When it comes to the NFL, if you have a freak athlete and he's a playmaker, get him the damn football.
And he gets less than 5 touches a game, combined with some of those guys, with multiple people in there.
You think Aaron Jones is on his way out after this year?
Yeah.
Injuries and age.
That's the thing. It's the running back controversy. It's the same thing.
Yeah, because look at A.J. Dillon, dude. I mean, A.J. Dillon can only go one way, and that's straight. He can't move. I mean, I like A.J. Dillon. I like him down on the goal line type stuff.
Yeah, that's all he is.
But, I mean, look at the switch, and that's why I guess I'll go back to this too with Henry. I mean, Henry's a dog. I'm not saying that, but look at all the good running backs now. They're all running backs that can catch out of the backfield.
They're not running backs. They're hybrids. They're hybrids, hybrid receiver, hybrid running back. Jahmyr Gibbs can play a slot receiver. Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs can play. He can play slot receiver. So can McCaffrey. Yeah, and that's
so
what
could Saquon. He can catch out of the backfield.
That's why Blake Corum stole at Michigan.
And that's why those and I have a major issue with the running back contracts in general, and I do believe they should get their money's worth for the amount of wear and tear on their bodies and all of that. But that's why a guy like McCaffrey's getting paid top tier dollar, because he's not only getting paid as a running back, but he's getting paid sort of in a mixture of as a receiver because of what he can do and bring in the pass game. And I only think that's going to continue to grow with a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs. And I think Eckler's in that tier. He can pass catch.
You can find him anywhere, bro. You can find a 4th, 5th round pick.
I'm telling you, get those guys anywhere.
Anybody, bro. You can find them.
I mean, look
That's
at
why
what
I
the
think the Packers
Chiefs.
are going to draft and let Jones walk. But
Bro,
Like
look
you
at the.
think about that though, that it's a whole different world now that we live in. Guys like Zeke Elliott and Fournette are not. If we redid those drafts in this day and age, they're not going as early as they did. No shot.
I mean, there's one guy that comes to mind right now that's hurt who is still like that, and I think that's Chubb.
Chubb's a
I mean,
stud.
yes.
Chubb's a
But he can
stud, and
catch the ball.
He
he can
can.
catch the ball, but he's old. But he'll
Man.
pound. I mean,
Yeah.
he's ground and pound. I mean,
Fair.
you're gonna give him he can catch, but you can also just give it to him. He'll just run straight through and just run people over.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
Henry
Todd
was.
Gurley's out of the league.
Yeah. That was just wear and tear on his body over time and
True, but he was
his usage. He was ran into the ground, yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, but I think we've had a great conversation.
Though, in the next 5 to 10 years with this shift in running back, I'll see what you guys think on this. Does the evolution, the longevity of some of these running backs maybe get prolonged, that they're not so much in the backfield and getting hit in between the tackles as much?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I mean,
and I don't think you see a guy like McCaffrey ain't necessarily running between the tackles all the time.
No,
it's a lot of stretch plays. It's a lot of plays where he's outside the tackle box.
The lower body healthy and not have big time season-ending stuff in the first 5 to 6 years. You might be able to have some longevity with backs again.
No, you could. And what did they say about a guy like McCaffrey going to the 49ers? And that's part of the reason the Panthers were okay with making the trade was because of the injury history and the wear and tear that Carolina put on him. And Shanahan's found a way to utilize him in a correct format where he's not getting run in the ground. Although I will say I'd like to see a little bit more Elijah Mitchell. I think a change of pace back would be efficient. And
I mean, look at what Kansas
back.
City's done. I mean,
they haven't had a legit RB1 the whole time.
I mean, maybe you could make the argument Pacheco is. I mean, he's a stud, but I mean, he's kind of the hybrid too. Just like what's his face there, McKinnon. I mean, these guys are. It's not the old school like Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton.
Yeah, well, it's because it's a different type of football now.
I don't think you don't need a Derrick Henry or a Saquon or any of these guys to win now. I mean,
you do to some extent to control game clock, in my opinion.
You do.
You do.
I mean, I don't think so because look at the last 3 or 4 Super Bowls. Okay. Kansas City won.
But the Eagles ran the ball a lot, and I know they lost and they didn't win the Super Bowl. But the Eagles
I'm not saying you don't run the football, but you don't need a standard running back like you. I mean, look at these last couple of years. I mean, who's won the Super Bowl? You don't need a number 1 running back in the league.
Yeah.
You don't. I mean, Kansas City did it. Philly had Miles Sanders and DeAndre Swift's another one that's not. I mean, he's a hybrid. He can do both. I mean, you don't need like a Derrick Henry or any of these guys anymore. You still need to run the football. That's still a part of the game, and that's super important. But you don't need a number 1 running back like you used to anymore.
Here's what I'll say though. I think when it comes to running backs, 2 things I'll say. I think you need an RB1 and then you need a change of pace back. And I think that's why Tony Pollard is not seeing as much success this season because there's no change of pace. He was that change of pace back. Like Zeke was the guy who didn't have to go get 4 yards a carry. He could get you 2-3 yards, but then Pollard was going to burst one, turn a 4-yard run into a 10-yard run. And that combination works. And David Montgomery's having probably one of his best seasons with Detroit this year, and then you have a change of pace back in Jahmyr Gibbs. Like it's that not necessarily.
And that just builds right into Carter's point. You got to run the ball and establish it, but you don't need the stud. And
I agree.
Right.
And the only other
hard
thing
to find that middle ground of a guy who's good enough to give you 15 carries a game or 20 if you really need it.
Yeah.
Without having to pay him, it's gonna be a revolving door.
Before we wrap this up, I just want to read off the last 5 Super Bowl champs. Kansas City, the Rams. Who'd they have at running back?
At the time, it probably was Darrell Henderson, right?
Okay.
No, Akers was back.
Okay.
Akers played because he had Akers came back, bro, because he
came back for the postseason run.
He had the Achilles, I think, and he came back. He magically
had
made
another
it back.
dude out there. Who was it?
Did they? I don't.
Okay, then Tampa.
Tampa had Fournette.
Fournette,
And Jones. So that wasn't a
Ronald
bad little
Jones,
tandem.
yeah.
Kansas City,
At
the
that point
Patriots,
was Edwards-Helaire.
and then the
Patriots. The
Patriots.
Patriots set the standard for that type of play because the Patriots have never had
James White, baby.
like James White. Like I mean, they had
LeGarrette Blount.
They had LeGarrette, but he was that physical runner. Who's another one? They had another type of running back that was very similar to James White.
That it's like that Macarone or
They had Danny Woodhead for a while, right? Was
They
Woodhead?
did.
Woodhead was a Charger, but I think he was with the
Dude,
Patriots.
who was that other little back up there in New
They
England?
did. No, they had one that was like James White. I'm
There
telling
were
you.
two of them. That's like when we first started playing fantasy football. James White was a PPR machine.
yeah, James White, and then they had the
Dude, who was the other guy?
I don't know, but that's
Okay.
kind of my point.
Okay,
You
so
can't
they-
even
No, you're right though.
Yeah, no.
You're
So
right.
they had Deion Lewis was like
Deion
like
Lewis,
James
that's
White.
Who it was.
Deion
That's
Lewis.
Who it was.
They've had Rex Burkhead,
Yeah.
Burkhead.
Sony Michelle,
And he was the worst out of all of them.
Brandon
Production-wise,
Bolden, Jonas Gray, Shane Vereen, Stephen Ridley. They had Jeremy Hill, Kenjon Barner, Damian Harris. I didn't know they had Pierre Strong. Pierre Strong's with the Browns now,
All right.
but
Lotus.
So
Yeah.
I mean
Ramondre Stevenson now.
that's kind of what I was alluding
Oh,
to.
it's a very fair point. It's a very fair point. But yeah, I think ultimately fantastic show to kick off Carter's debut with Gannon, the three of us together. Probably our longest episode we've ever done. And yeah, no, it's awesome because we can get into it. This is just like how our friendship goes when we talk sports. You get into it, you
Carter and
debate
I
it.
will organize the Factor Cap for the next segment.
Oh, for sure.
I think
And we're gonna
that's-
throw
I think
some
that's
Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There was no
well,
Dallas stuff in there.
I had to leave it out a little bit, but it got mixed in there a bit. But
Mhm.
Please watch some MLB so we can talk about this the next episode.
MLB playoffs, tap into the World Series. Once again, we appreciate you. If you made it this whole episode, I highly doubt you did. A lot of debate. Hope you enjoyed this one. We will see you guys next time.